This clip, or this video, is by the Ghetto Free Press, George Boston Rhines, in honor of Shaveen King and attorney Benjamin Crump. In the case of Kendrick Johnson and the Quitman 10+2. Attorneys that are standing up for the best in the American dream and the dream of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and other freedom fighters in the state of Georgia. Thank you all. And thank God for the Quitman 10+2 and Lula Smart for not plea bargaining and standing up for your innocence. May God bless you, and may the record forever reflect that you refused to punk out under pressure. And we the people appreciate what you have done along the lines of voting rights. And to all the black elected mayors in Quitman, Georgia, Meigs, Georgia, Dawson, Georgia, Gordon, Georgia, Terrell, Georgia, and other locations around the state of Georgia yet to be identified. Stand your ground and help carry out the best in the American dream and the dream of those freedom fighters who gave their all to make this nation the beacon of hope that it is around the world. This is George Boston Rhines, the Ghetto Free Press. Greetings. This is the Ghetto Free Press. I'm George Boston Rhines. I'm over in the little city of Meigs.
We'll have order.
Okay.
That's the right way you want to talk to me, because I told you tough so. Everybody out. Everybody's right to live. Oh, y'all might welcome. I be heard. I can be heard. Oh.
Okay, so you're gonna. There are some eggs over in the back.
Because we knocked it up, y'all think you were
That's my favorite. So you don't have to say it. Hey.
Yeah, is I is or is I ain't your brother, Georgian, Ben, Yashar. Where's all the children at? Hurry up and get them children. Where's Big Mama? Where's Papa? Go out into the highway. All right, to my right, this powerful panel right here that I run around most of the organization. Do the CEO of Comcast know what's really going down up in this BI? To my right, you know who he is. And he's been here before. He's a powerful voice of civic action. He's a military man. He's a social activist and community-minded. He's a military strategist. His name is, and he's from Valdosta. Well, Derek Bozeman, the powerful activist here in Atlanta, WAOK. He also was there last week, a week before last, with Let Us Make Man. We have, however, a representative of the Valdosta community. His name is George Boston Rhines. Peace and blessings to you, my beloved brother.
Peace be unto you, my beautiful brother.
And you know who he is. His name reflects a time of day, but not a state of mind. It is Elder Sunday. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah. Peace and blessings, shalom, Assalamu alaikum salam, my brother.
Yes, sir, and also who you have not seen, but they are here. It is the powerful voice of the lyrical rap master aficionado. Jet Black is in the easy for cheesy. Somebody put the fire department on standby. This bad boy getting ready to get burnt down. But before we burn the bitch down, let's go to this powerful panel right here. You know, Dr. Boston, I don't know why I keep wanting to call you Dr. Boston. Yes, sir. Tell us what's really going on in Valdosta. We know, you know, Rainbow Push and I, we came down many years ago. Dr. Rose and many of the other activists. We've known you've been community activists for many years. But Valdosta seems to be a bastion of white supremacy, white privilege, where they can even kill one of our young children. But that just ain't in Valdosta. That seems all over America with impunity and nobody be brought to justice. What's really going on in Valdosta, boss?
My beautiful brother, I would need hours to highlight the problems in Valdosta. And I do mean hours, if not months.
Yes, sir.
But right now, the Kendrick Johnson case, of course, they're still seeking the killer or to prove if it was an accident or not. The Kendrick Johnson family and those supporters will not quit. Mm-hmm. They believe that something other than an accident contributed to the death of their son.
That's right.
And the father, Kenneth, I talk to him about every day. Mm-hmm. And they believe that justice will prevail in that case. Mm-hmm. If I was going to hit it and quit, and I know we are limited on time, so just let me do an A, B, and C.
Talk to us.
If I was going to talk about, I would talk about the Kendrick Johnson death, and I would talk about the 31 jail deaths in Valdosta and Lowndes County are leading the state of Georgia in jail deaths. Just last week, we had another young man to supposedly hung himself in the jail. And I've been on that for over 20 years, and it seems like there is no end to that. I can't understand why Governor Nathan Deal, Attorney General of Georgia, and Secretary of State Brian P. Kemp hasn't done anything to try to stop this in the state of Georgia. We also have voting rights problem down there. As you know, they arrested the Whitman 10+2, and it's been over 3 years and 4 months, and they have not been to trial and received a trial in terms of closing that particular case.
But wait a minute now, these are the people that were duly elected by the people, were they not?
But now these people, these are the actual people that was running for office.
Okay.
And they got them on alleged voter fraud.
Okay.
12 outstanding citizens. Dr. Dennett, Nancy Dennett, is a professional. In fact, most of these people are educators.
Right.
But what happened in Brooks County, it gave Brooks County, for the first time in Brooks County's history, a majority on the Brooks County Board of Education. Many of us believe that what the reason they was indicted because somebody wasn't happy with that. And so what happened is that they disenfranchised the voters. Nobody has reported, no news media has reported the fact that black voters were intimidated by the G.B.R. When I walked the street, myself and Reverend Benjamin, we actually sent a DVD to the Secretary of State, Eric Holder, about the Whitman 10+2 and their innocence. And along with Representative Tyrone Brooks. Right. What happened in that is nothing. Nothing from the Justice Department. And so if you, to skip right along, Lula Smart went to court, one of the Whitman 10 because they refused the plea bargain. They did the same thing in Madison, Florida, but those people in Florida, some of them pleaded out, you know. But these people in Whitman or Brooks County taking it in for the long haul. So what has happened is this. Lula Smart, September of last year, actually went before Judge Lane. Judge Lane found and ruled a mistrial. April the 14th, the state of Georgia called her in for another trial. That trial ended up in a mistrial. And before the trial was over, the prosecutor said that he asked the judge, when can we get another date scheduled, because they want to try her again for that same case. Now, but in addition to that, I want you to know, and I want the people in the state of Georgia and the United States of America to understand, they chose to investigate those people based upon a spike in absentee ballots because there was a large submission. Now, if everybody in the state of Georgia choose to use and vote by absentee ballot, then they're going to be a spite.
Well, they can encourage them to go absentee.
Absolutely. Because absentee ballot is a way to account and have a paper trail in terms of who
Absolutely.
Now, so what happens is that, now watch this now. The postal clerk that works in the United States Post Office, I won't call his name, but I could.
Don't be shy.
Because it's a public record. Now, after the trial, the first trial and the second trial, I'm not going to call his name. His name John Boone. John Boone in the post office said that he was going to, that he noticed a big bundle of absentee ballots being placed in the drop box by Lula Smart, one of the equipment 10+2.
Right.
But there's something very unique about this. This has never been published in the newspaper. And here it is. That individual said he had never heard of anything as simple as the Privacy Act.
Come on.
How can you work in the post office and not understand the Privacy Act?
Exactly.
So what he did, he took these bundles of ballots and he took information off the envelope.
Come on now.
Yes, sir. Sent it to a private investigator. This investigator had been hired by the Brooks County School Superintendent, who may have been a conflict of interest, and if not, his credibility is blown shot.
Absolutely.
Because he should not have done that. And C.B. King, the attorney, brought all of this out in the case.
Right.
But check this. He took it and gave it to these people. Then he wrote down on a piece of paper all these names. That's supposed to be personal information. Do you not know that nothing published in the local newspaper about what he did? We haven't heard nothing from the Postmaster General about a possible violation of federal law.
Exactly.
And so if that's what started it, why is it that they just, well, I haven't finished yet. The registrar, do you not know that because she got 1,400 ballots, what she did was took the ballots from the polling place, the registrar's office, took them home with her. She took ballots home. And even more than that, she got the 2 females that work for the county in the tax office to help her with the ballot. But she even got her granddaughter to assist with the processing of the ballots.
Now, how did this information get revealed about her taking it home and got all the family?
Only after we got to court. Only after we got to court. That was in the first trial, that was the second trial. But here in the state of Georgia, do you not know again? Do you know little to nothing has been published in the South Georgia news media about that? That this stuff is being suppressed.
Absolutely.
The only place you want to find this information is on Boston G.B.R. channel, on my YouTube channel. Right. Now you may ask me why do
if people want to go to that channel, how do they get to it? Give it.
Just on any search engine, just type Boston G.B.R. I have over 500,000 views and 4,000 videos because I am determined to let the outside world know that there is something seriously wrong with the governor of the state of Georgia, Georgia Attorney General Sam Collins, and the Secretary of State Brian P. Kemp. Now that is the absolute truth. Now I have already proved that on Boston G.B.R. channel. Now I don't want nobody to believe what I'm saying. What I want the people to do is to check it for themselves, because Jesus said in St. John 8:32, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set and make you free. And that's the way I stand. I haven't even begun to scratch the surface yet. Let me skip and get these black mayors in the state of Georgia. We have black mayors in the state of Georgia. Let me start out by Quitman, Georgia. James C. Brown III was refused to have an office as mayor in Quitman. That's number one. Number two, Neds, Georgia. I was called over there because they say the black mayor, Linda Harris, had put voodoo around her desk. Come on now. So when I saw that, I said, I need to look into that. So I took my little camera and I went over there and I recorded. And when I recorded, little did I know, the people on the street waving, Ryan, we want to talk to you because we seen you on YouTube. And so if you go to Boston G.B.R., you'll get the rest of the story. But let me tell you, this lady was arrested the week before last on Saturday. The sheriff of Thomas County kind of understand what she's going through. We have a former police chief who's Caucasian, who is also the city manager. He also is highlighting and asked a question on video that Governor Deal, the Secretary of State, Brian P. Kemp, and the Georgia Attorney General can review all of it. In fact, I have sent this already to these people. And so I have sent it to the Senate, the President of the SCLC, Brother Steele. Edward DuBose got it. Eric Holder has received it. Yeah, he received it. So the question remains, how long will these black mayors suffer in Georgia without anybody in leadership of Georgia General Assembly doing anything about it? It is time now for somebody to do something. And I'm not out outraged, I'm enraged.
Brother, now let me ask you, I want to ask you your reflections on this, this owner who the NAACP has given their National Scholarship Award,
No, it's a lifetime achievement.
a lifetime achievement.
To that racist out there.
Wait a minute now, they done gave him twice. Like one of the brothers on Al Sharpton said they must have gave him to for his life and the afterlife. They don't get this, and he has proven he hate us.
Exactly.
This is the NAACP, baby. Now tell us what you thought. Did you heard about that?
Well, yeah, I definitely have heard about it. But my beautiful brother, let me give you the flavor of the nature and the nature of my flavor. And here's what it is. Number one, I have too much respect for the NAACP. Now that's my flavor, my nigga. For me to down or say anything negative about the NAACP, even though they may be worthy of the criticism. What I want to do is stay focused on these mayors in the state of Georgia. And I'm hoping that the NAACP will look at their image and start coming into Meigs, Georgia, coming into Brooks County, coming into Dawson, Georgia. Chris, first name Chris, Mayor Chris Wright, was shot 6 times and left in his yard for days. And his neighbor came over to assist him, and then he jumped, where's my mom? So he ran in the house and come to find out his mama had been pistol whipped. So this is what is happening in the state of Georgia. But the news media don't pick up on this, my beautiful.
Wait a minute now, they shot Derwin Brown in his yard right here in DeKalb County, bro. Come on, so this thing is just not what they doing in the small town. They doing it in the big town.
But check this, I ain't finished yet. My beautiful brother. Now let's just leave Dawson, Georgia. I went to the street and walked on the streets, and you can hear these people talk on my video. That's Boston G.B.R. And the whole world needs to know this. I can't understand where is the Congressional Black Caucus. I can't understand where Georgia a General Assembly. And Lord help my beautiful brother, and I got the greatest respect for him. That's Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton. With everything that's going on, I cannot understand why the black civil rights organization, the women's rights organization, and every American who believes in the founding fathers of this great republic that we claim when they put us in uniform to go fight these wars about freedom, justice, and equality for all people. Then why did we have a dysfunctional city council in Meigs, Georgia, a dysfunctional city council in Gordon, Georgia? They call me in Davisboro, Georgia. All these are black mayors. And won't nobody cry for them. And so I made a commitment. One more, Warrenton, Georgia. So won't nobody, but nobody, for the most part, address their issues. And so when I talked to Mayor Whipple-Lue, she got to go to court Thursday because they done filed charges on her to remove her from office. They done filed charges against Linda Harris in Meigs, Georgia. They banned Linda Harris from her own office. They banned her from one office, moved her to another office, and then you'll see all on video. Then they changed the lock on this second office. She can't even go into City Hall to do nothing. They walk out the meeting without her adjourning the meeting.
Well, you know they did that with your girl Cynthia McKinney, her own from Capitol Hill. Now let me ask you this, because see, the other thing has to do with the governors. Governors that are so-called black have been disproportionately arrested. I think it's about 6 black governors that are doing time right now that have been caught up in sting operations that we know.
Congressmen and senators.
Well, it was, okay, I know that people in high, well, it must be mayors then. It must be the mayors, because Congressman Patrick, and it's about, it's mayors. It's about 6 that have been criminally prosecuted, found exactly. So this is wait a minute now, hold up. This is the point. When you join the mafia, and the mafia is showing you that you on their hit list and they hate you, don't you think that if just because you vote for them that they're going to change their modus operandi about destroying your people? That's the whole flam game that I've been saying about with Al Sharpton and Jesse. That all of you all who vote for white supremacy, they're not going to change their agenda of hatred toward us. That's the only point I'm making. But you're making my point from me by even when you are duly elected, like they did with the Roman Catholic priest who was a duly elected priest, had $1 million house from a donation from one of the people, and they made him get out of that house.
No, they made him give it up.
Yes, sir. He had to get out of that house.
So I'm finding out, my beautiful brother, that there is a order in this country.
Come on.
Wherein the old Dred Scott decision of
Yes.
1857,
That's right.
that no black man had any rights that a white man was bound to respect.
That's
And
it.
so I see it more and more now. I say this as the beast
Okay.
of this subject.
Okay.
Look at me.
Right.
I'm retired military.
Yes, sir.
I served during the Vietnam era.
Yes, sir.
I could have been killed
That's
in
right.
several wars
That's right.
during that 21-year period.
Yes, sir.
But check this, my beautiful brother. I have never violated the law outside of a speeding ticket.
Exactly.
And do you not know that today I'm under a 300+ criminal
Yes,
trespass
Yes, sir.
warning
Yes, sir.
without justification
That's right.
or notification
Yes,
in the
sir.
state of Georgia
That's right.
under Sheriff Prine in Lowndes County,
Yes, sir.
the same county that Kendrick Johnson was
Yes,
found
sir.
dead in.
That's right.
And his mother and father was not allowed the right to ID their own son.
Come on now.
And there are many other mothers and fathers who were not able to ID their children's body
Yes, sir.
because something is seriously wrong, not only in Lowndes
In
County,
America.
but in the state of Georgia.
Yes, sir.
And the United States
That's right.
Department of Justice
That's right.
seemingly are in cahoots
That's right.
with that mentality
That's right.
of not investigating all of this stuff that's going
Yes,
on
sir.
today.
Yes, sir.
Now, with my
Yes, sir.
criminal trespass warrant,
Come
they
on.
haven't done nothing.
That's
I
right.
haven't heard from Al Sharpton.
Yes, sir.
Victor Blackwell came down and investigated and still investigated Kendrick Johnson's death.
That's right.
The news media have yet to come and ask me for an interview.
That's right.
Because now some people believe because of what I recorded,
Yes, sir.
and that I'm the first somebody to really start talking about the Kendrick Johnson case and why they're not publicizing the case, trying to keep it top secret.
That's right.
Then they put me on and banned me
Yes, sir.
from Lowndes County High School
Come on,
property.
come on.
That means
Yes, sir.
that George Boston Ryan
Wow.
cannot go on the high school property, number one. Number two, I have been denied for 300 days from even going to a Lowndes County High School Board of Education meeting.
Well,
When mothers and fathers call me as a community activist,
That's right.
I can't even go on that property.
That's how they
and
do it,
And that's without justification
that's
or
right.
notification.
Or due process.
Look, now, I heard this
Well,
on the Lowndes County Sheriff Deputy Thomas radio.
yes, sir.
And not only that, on May 25th, they told me then I had been under this thing for 2 weeks. I didn't know about it.
Yes, sir.
So even today, I have nothing in writing. Now, at least in Meg's, when they gave the mayor a criminal trespass, she
Right.
couldn't go even to the public meeting.
Come on.
She couldn't even go to council meeting. Her brother, Edward, was given a criminal trespass
That's right.
warrant. Her other brother, Calvin, was given
That's
a
right.
trespass warrant.
Right.
These mayors have written to the governor, have sent letters to the Georgia Attorney General,
Right.
and others, and yet we don't hear nothing. It's just like the equipment 10, my beautiful brother,
Yes,
plus
sir.
2.
Right.
They went through all this by themselves, and it is indeed time for us to make a complete change or turnaround.
All right, let me just say this. We're going to go to you, Elder Sundown. We're going to get ready to get Jet Black up in this piece. You know what I'm talking about? We're going to, the names, I don't know all the names. You know, we've got Elder Sundown. We know George Boston Rhymes. So the names of Jet Black, yes, okay. So we'll get ready to have them come up. Now, Elder Sundown, go ahead and give us some of your
I'm going
reflections.
to go back to 2007 when Barack Hussein Obama said, I'm going to run for president.
Yes, sir.
Minister Farrakhan saved the day maybe some months after Barack announced that. Did a save the day.
Right.
He said these words. Even if Barack Hussein Obama become president, it's not going to change the black condition.
Thank you. Thank you.
Because he's just one man.
That's right.
And who he's surrounded by. Plus, I was upset. My brother was upset. The minister was upset that he had to choose people from the Clinton administration and the Bush administration.
Come on now. Come on. Come on.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, once he was elected,
Well,
December of that same year, he was elected November the 5th.
yes, sir.
December of that same year, Minister Farrakhan did another election.
Well,
When all the guns went off the ship, all the bullets went.
yet missing.
And he said, Barack is protected by the CIA. They can't get to him.
That's right.
But us, they gonna make us pay, brother.
That's right.
He said that.
That's right.
All of this, so I ain't shocked about none of this.
That's right.
Then when he was re-elected,
Come on.
they intensified making us pay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because we, 99% of the black nation supported that man.
That's right. That's
So
right.
this is get back.
That's right.
See, I ain't surprised. That's why I said last week, the Democrat or the Republican, they are the same. They are controlled by the multinational banking system,
Yes, sir. Yes.
Wall Street.
Yes, sir. That's right. Take
And
it.
just because we vote for these people, we ain't got no wealth to put behind them, brother.
Thank you. That's right.
So somebody, we vote for them, so somebody else put the wealth behind them.
That's right.
So I ain't shocked about none of this. I ain't shocked about Al Sharpton.
Right.
Jesse, because Minister won all of them back in the 80s.
Yes, sir.
He even won the president of Egypt,
Come on.
Assad, the president of Syria.
Come on.
What was going to happen to them if they didn't get out of bed with white folks?
Yes, sir.
Now we where we is, bro.
Well, let me say this.
You know what it is, I'm back in the push side, no time out, we ride now, I'm strong. Let's go. Everything, let's get go. Put everything on your mind, cuz.
I'm not that you and you so extra, and we a perfect match. I seen all that work, them eyes cutting on mine, so I know it's on your mind. A few more drinks, don't get a shot. No turn back, I don't you laugh with all of that. Sex appeal, I'm in the pill. Come on, baby, don't waste my time, cause we gon' do it all night.
Thank you for being here. We got seats for you. If you want to get in this conversation as well, it's your program, 770-559-2999. 770-559-2999. This is a live program. This is your program. We want to go back to. Go ahead, Elder. No, put it right over there. Just hold it. Hold it.
Yes, sir. You were exposing a counselor down there
Exactly.
in South Georgia. So you definitely gonna be targeted. The thing that get me, since you done put this in on this magnificent technology that we rave about and just go nuts over,
There you go.
that means it's done got exposure that somebody should have done, I'm talking about power and influence, should have done been down to Valdosta. So I'm not surprised that they done target you. They probably gonna up the ante. Because when you look at Governor Deal, that you talk about the governor, when he was a congressman, brother, he was in illegal stuff.
Y'all pull those chairs up.
He resigned, they brought him to Georgia, they made him a governor.
Come around my.
So of course they know about all of this here, because it's corrupt, illegal stuff going on, so we don't exist. Plus, they declared the state of Georgia a red state. That means conservative, racist, like that owner. See, another thing. Speaking of that owner in California.
Exactly.
Brother, are you surprised?
Heck no.
Minister Farrakhan told us back in the 80s that the NBA and the NFL was a slave damn thing.
That's all.
And we was a piece of meat.
That's it.
Running the ball over damn goal, or throwing one in the hoop,
Come on.
or hitting one with a damn
That's
bat.
right. That's right.
If I may, I have, first of all, my beautiful brother, I
Yes,
want to
sir.
say this. I have the highest respect for Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Absolutely.
Some people don't want me to be a friend of him,
Exactly.
of that man.
Yes, sir.
I got the highest respect for him and many other black leaders. You won't see why I criticize any of them too much. And I say that because I haven't done the work of Minister Farrakhan nor Jesse. But here's the beef and the flavor of my nature again.
Come on.
I sent all this stuff also to Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Okay.
I haven't heard nothing from the Nation of Islam either.
Okay.
It seems to me, I got the highest respect. He has done a great work. I'm a product of Minister Farrakhan.
Still doing it.
Because his truth is more powerful, in my opinion, than the ministers in the church.
Absolutely.
Or the other imams in the mosque. Because of the fact that he is called to do what he's doing. So I don't necessarily want Minister Farrakhan to get buckled down with the political aspects, because he got his hands full.
Absolutely.
And have had them full for many decades to educate and to build a new mind and to resurrect a dead person from the grave so they can stand upright on the square as a perpendicular that he's willing to unfold and tell these people the truth that Yahshua, Jesus, talked about. But as long as we can sit back, imitate Jesus, duplicate Muhammad, and placate all these other rabbis who might have done good, then we are lost in the cosmos And we don't need another king.
No.
God already sent us a king.
Come on,
What we need now is somebody to ream out from the dream of Dr. King to help build a new reality. The reason, and let me close with it, the reason I cannot leave, like you said, brother, they're going to up the ante with me. I cannot understand why any black man would allow these black female males to go through this alone. We had a 14-year-old girl right there in Valdosta to be hog-tied by the sheriff deputy, face down and accused of hitting a teacher. And it was later proved, the teachers gave a statement that that 14-year-old girl never struck that educator, yet they had to go through the system. The mother went to all the news media in South Georgia and asked them to report this to the news so the people would know what has happened. Do you not know that girl's story have never been published in no newspaper in South Georgia? What happened to her? She went through the juvenile court, and the mother and father was crying out now, saying they've been railroaded. And nothing has been done. So I can't understand how our NAACP, I got the highest respect for them. The SCLC, I got the highest respect for Mr. President Steele. But why is all these things happening here in South Georgia, in Lowndes County, and Brooks County, and really all over?
Well, let's hear from the future.
Yes, sir.
Because see, look, you can see by all this gray over here on our side that we've been around the block for a minute here.
Yes, sir.
But these are the young men of the future. That these standing ground laws, this Kendrick Johnson case, Trayvon Martin, these are the ones that are being targeted. Now, let me not speak for you. Let me allow you to speak for yourselves. You are activists in your own right in that you rap. It's your testimony. When you hear of us and the activism of Al Sharpton and our activism on this show and others, what do you see the future of the brothers in America and this system of political indoctrination that they put us in?
Well, first giving honor to God.
Do you have your mic? There you go.
Very honor to God and all our elders here.
Yes.
You know, we are Jet Black Top Notch, and we are soldiers in the field.
Yes.
And I think what I believe personally is that the mindset has been corrupted in the youth, and it's a smoke screen when it comes to this NBA, to the sports, to the entertainment, to keep our young youth and our young soldiers away from what's really happening over here on the left. You know, and I believe that we could get our mindsets first. It starts in the house, in the household with our parents. You know, and there's a lot of course, we know single parent households. Not just in the black, but more so in the black, but it's prevalent pretty much in every genre, but more so in ours, you know. And I really think, and I have a heart for the youth, you know, and the young generation, and I think don't get it twisted, because it's some hard. We are soldiers out here, you know. We are soldiers, and everybody don't believe a lot.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You know, we come from strong spiritual backgrounds first, you know, and I believe that's where it starts. You know, everything reverts back to the spiritual.
Exactly.
You know, but for some, you know, everybody's not going to believe.
Exactly.
You know, so for those that do believe and understand, it's a difference. You know, you have to understand what you believe. You know, and I really believe that. So, you know, for me, you know, we that young generation, that young soldiers that's out there really not, you know, too concerned about, you know, what the government have to say, because we see further than the government. You know, so, you know, our eyes are spiritual eyes. So, you know, whatever they do on this earth is okay. You know, you do what you do. So, you know, we live in the spirit, and we go and we issue by the spirit. So, you know, it's a beautiful thing. We're not mad at the government, but we do understand the government.
Yes, sir.
You know, so, you know, that's coming from the younger generation. You know, we're a voice out here that needs to be heard.
Yes,
and we thank God for the forefathers. You know, you guys that still have that voice and still taking a stand for, you know, things that's been done in the past that still existing right now that our young youth don't know about.
Yes,
as simple as the Jim Crow law. Simple things. Simple things in life that really, you know, that you have to understand to really get over that hump. You know, so, you know, it's a beautiful thing. It's good. good to hear, you know, that the voice still going on, and y'all have reinforcements with you. So believe that.
Well, let's get some other, because when we talk about Kendrick Johnson, anybody else wanting to chime in? Do you, in America today, even as a rap, I mean, people, artists, people respect you and appreciate you, but do you feel targeted? And that's it. You can speak to what the Spirit is giving you. Do you feel targeted in this country?
Well, yeah, I would say I feel targeted. Only because, it's not because of certain movies or just going off what a lot most people talk about or whatnot. Generally because I have experienced it in the flesh, firsthand, you know what I'm saying? You know, different type of situations, you know, different type of racism. I feel like issues, you know what I'm saying? It's all different types of racism, all type of levels. And, you know, you just have to be able to just open your eyes and see it and just visualize it. But as far as being targeted, yeah, I think we are. I think it's the system, as you get older, you know what I'm saying, you start to listen to what, you know, your old folks and your grandmas used to say. And the older you get, you start to see, you know, what they was talking about, the conversation, you know, when they used to converse and talk about, you start to see it take shape and start to understand. And notice that it's getting worse. But the younger generation, you know, like I said, it's the majority of the younger generation are, I feel like, are corrupted. You know what I'm saying? Because they're easily manipulated by stuff they see, hear, peer pressure, and it's just all around us. You know what I'm saying? It keeps them in a box. And, you know, it's only a select few that really think outside the box or really can see what's going on. But it's just, you know, that select few just need to just help, you know what I'm saying, try to get the other people right. But it's really hard.
I want to ask you, and I know our time is running down, because athletics is part of what makes us who we are. I mean, they identify entertainers and athletics. You know, the owner of the Clippers, you know what I mean? And see, we come from the street, a lot of, maybe, you know, everybody that rap ain't from the street, you know, you rap about cushy, big. But I mean, did that surprise you? And what impact, if any, did his statements have on you? And do you believe that our children, that will make a difference in them, you know, really trying to make heroes out of the athletes who are nothing more than slaves in this system of athleticism? Anybody want to comment on that?
I wasn't surprised at all.
Okay.
I mean, I'm pretty sure many of them feel that way. To what level, I'm not certain, but all have, you know, maybe possibly that kind of feeling about, you know, they're just out there, like you said, shooting the basket, throwing the football, running back and forth, and making all this money. To them, it seems, making all this money. But you got to remember, out of all 55 players that are on the football team, or 12 players that's on the basketball team, there's somebody cutting them that check. So they're not, you know, just like I believe he said something as far as, I'm giving these, you know,
right. I'm providing the house and cars, food.
And
I did this. That's what he said.
So, not surprised at all. It's just the fact that he got caught in a situation where somebody set him up with something.
Exactly.
You know, who happened to be his lover or whoever she was. For what reason, I'm not certain. But to go out on that extent and that level, she knew what she was doing.
Now let me ask you this, and give me a time count. Freedom of speech, as rappers, as a TV talk show host, we have certain levels of freedom of speech, but we see these rights that we thought we had being eroded away. Do you see a slippery slope as it pertains to freedom of speech in this country? With this being a private conversation, and even though it may have been bigoted in its origin, it was a private conversation, and that being brought to the forefront. Do you see any issues with that? Yeah, I got my phone.
Yes.
Go ahead. Yes.
Yes, I definitely see our freedom of speech eroded, and it's even happening in public meetings. While in Mays you have to give a 10-day notice just to appear before your elected officials. And then when you stand before them, they don't really want to listen to you. So we are losing a lot. Now going back to Bundy, you're at the rancher in Nevada. All right, take him and the Sturdy. Take both of them. Now I contend this, and I have this on Boston G.B.R. on YouTube. I don't believe that neither one of them intended to say what they said. I just don't believe that. I believe what happened is that Yahshua made it in such a way that those words came out like that and catch them in the catch-22 so he can move on to the next level, because of the fact that we have gone through everything, and everything that we go through, it makes us better.
Wait a minute, hold on. on just a minute. I want to hear what this. Let me hear what this young man did. Elder, don't forget where you're coming. Go ahead. You were about to make a comment.
I was going back to the freedom of speech thing. Kind of it is where they're trying to control, you know, what you can say or what you can create or, you know, what you can do with things. They're trying to put a limit on it. But to me, I feel like, you know, if you control our power, you know, you don't really care what nobody tell you. You know, you say what you're going to say. I think you should create things from your mind. You know, because that's how you make yourself. That's how you become a better person, using your mind, using your creative thoughts. You know, saying what's on your mind, saying what you feel. So I think they're trying to cut that out. They're trying to make it more, you know, process, robotic, so to speak.
Exactly. So we saw that with the owner. I mean, he mentioned about the guy there with the cattle feeding on his land.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
Exactly.
Now, let's go with the technology.
Yes, sir.
This is what came out this week. They said with this damn technology, these smartphones, ain't no privacy no more.
No.
You being, brother, they can tap into your stuff.
Anytime.
They got 25 million hackers.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Out here.
That's right.
Tapping in and breaking codes, brother.
Yes,
you ain't got no privacy no more.
That's right.
They can expose you anytime they get as long as you got that thing in your hip pocket and you talk on it.
That's right.
They can record you. Now, like me and my brother been saying all these years, stuff you don't want known, you don't get on that thing.
What about Facebook and Twitter and all that?
Brother, how many times I told you about how people put their naked behind on Facebook, but they won't seek knowledge? They go at each other, mates and stuff, and husband and wife on Facebook and stuff.
That's right.
But they won't use, like the young man say, their head. They won't think right.
That's right.
Brother, we been, I told this him about that, we being set up for the slaughter.
That's it.
Now, I ain't going with you. I ain't going with you. I don't care how many go to the slaughterhouse, I'm not going. Because I'm dancing to a different tune and a different beat.
That's right.
And I'm tuned into the creator. Like you were saying about creative mind. Brother, if he is our father, and that means we are little God.
That's right.
So that means we can be creative like he is.
That's right.
Not on the same level, but on the physical level, we can be creative.
Let me ask you this, because the title of this program is the Lamb.
Right.
See, lambs, everybody looks at a lamb as something to be sacrificed.
Right.
And in essence, what you're saying, that's really what we as a people have been set up for, is the sacrifice. Right. But see, because my brother, the young blood from Jet Black, mentioned about our spiritual power, it isn't, see, and that's how we want to, we're going to have to extend this show as a while to go, but we have to look forward to the spirit of meekness and humbleness, because that lion spirit is what the nations have, which is why they want to conquer. We hope to be back next week. We hope you've enjoyed this program. It is your program. We want to give thanks to George Boston Rhymes, Jet Black, Elder Sunday Peace in the Middle East, in your hearts, and right here. Peace. We'll be back next week. Peace be out. Hey.
This is the Ghetto Free Press, and I'm George Boston Rhymes, and I'm standing on the grounds of the Brooks County Courthouse in the state of Georgia and in the United States of America. As you know, starting last week, April the 14th, Lula Smart trial began after 3 years and 4 months. If you notice, in September of last year, her first appearance before a jury, and the state of Georgia prosecution ended in her first mistrial. During that mistrial, there's a lot of things that happened that you don't know about because it was never reported in the South Georgia News Media Network. For instance, we were not permitted to even record here in front of the courthouse. Moreover, we were not allowed to take cell phones into the courtroom last year, which was not a problem. But that's not a problem. However, the Judge Lane, scolded some people in the courtroom for using their cell phone when most people, well, everybody, we didn't have cell phones. But a sheriff deputy did have a cell phone, and of course he was texting in the corner. So there was many things that happened in this courtroom. We had the same postal worker who came and said that he didn't know anything about the Privacy Act and how he took ballots from the post office and took information from an official letter, letters, plural, and took them and gave them to somebody else and took them home, the addresses and stuff. But you don't know nothing about that because none of that was published into the newspapers or on television. And so I'm going to stop right there. Well, I'm going to tell you one more. There was a lot of things that took place in that mistrial. One lady, we were told, that was out raking her yards, and they would subpoena her and pull her from her yard to come testify. Moreover, you don't know nothing about the two people that were subpoenaed during the first mistrial, who was on the witness stand crying because they were thinking about how the G.B.R. intimidated them during their questioning, and they had just lost a family member to death in their families. You also had the man, and they had actually escorted him out of that courtroom. But y'all don't know nothing about that because no news media reported that. And so, skipping right along, there was so much. That's why the Secretary of State, Eric Holder of the Justice Department, and people that are concerned with voting rights need to get a copy of the transcript of last year's mistrial and review it in order to help voting rights here in the state of Georgia. Now, to save time, some of the same stuff happened during this mistrial. Yes, but the reason I stopped by today is because I want to be brief, I want to be pointed, and I want you to know before I get into why I'm holding these newspapers, is that Pastor Calvin Benjamin and myself, we walked the streets of Quitman. I was in Atlanta on December 21st, 2010, when the Quitman 10 was picked up. But I was called, and you'll find this on my other video because I don't change it. They talked about how they were harassed, not the Quitman 10, but I'm talking about everyday common folk. A lady in Marvin, Georgia, 80-some years old, was so intimidated, she said she wasn't going to vote anymore. Over by Old West End Milling Company, right on down the street there on the right, I met two elderly ladies. One who didn't want to talk to us, but her neighbor across the street talked about how she was so intimidated, until the degree she said she would never vote again. And then Tyrone Brooks and myself, we walked down in Old Slab Town. We walked over by where the educators live, by Old Washington Street High School in Booker T. Washington. And we interviewed people. We interviewed people on the street. We walked the street with, then he wasn't even a councilman then, James Brown, the new mayor now. We actually walked and we actually talked to people, and I got it on film. And we sent this information to the United States Department of Justice with Eric Holder for him to take a look at, and he did absolutely nothing. I didn't create this. I'm not lying. If anybody think I'm lying, then call me on the lie, and I can prove it by the witnesses that we have on video. And we sent it to the Justice Department. Now, I have been saying it for over 20 years. There is a system to destroy this nation. They want to destroy it by getting rid of freedom of speech, freedom of the press, and freedom of religion. They are out to destroy our beloved nation. There's so many of our sons and daughters have died to defend over these many years. Now, can you imagine if our elected officials and our representatives and our Senate and the Georgia General Assembly are concerned about voting rights? How could it be in Brooks County that the Quitman 10+2 had to go through a court case, Lula Smart, and the Valdosta Daily Times, the only newspaper in Valdosta, on the 14th, Lula Smart could have gone to jail. The Quitman 10 case has reached national and international level. But on the Monday, nothing in the Valdosta Daily Times, our only newspaper. Tuesday, nothing in the the Valdosta Daily Times about them standing before a judge and a jury, supposed to be among their peers. You don't know that the jury makeup was on out of 200 people that was called for jury duty. We were told, and I counted the people, and it was a lot of them. And then they narrowed it down to 12 jurors, and only one black was on that jury. Out of all those people, out of a city where the population may be 65% black, but yet only one person was on that jury, just like it was before I had 2 blacks. And so it seems as if though they can sit in judgment of us, but we can't set in equal judgment of them. Wednesday, April the 16th, seemed like with what took place in the courtroom, everybody in the Brooks County Courthouse was asking, where is Channel 6? Where is Channel 10? Where is Channel 27? Where is CNN? Where is Al Sharpton and others? But that is what we have to go through here in South Georgia. And not only the Atlanta Progress, none of the black newspapers was here. Anyway, let me go on. Thursday, intense trial. Nothing reported in the Valdosta Daily Times. Citizens waiting to know what is happening about voting rights in the state of Georgia. But nothing was in that newspaper. And then again Friday, it was granted a mistrial. And I'm not going to get into it because you can find that already on this YouTube channel. I have about 20 videos I try to do every day because I'm going to prove by the other social media people that there is something seriously wrong here in the state of Georgia when we cannot find a newspaper that will tell the story that the American people deserve and paid by the service in the United States Armed Forces. I put 21 years in the United States Armed Forces, and yet I can say not one word was in the newspaper about that trial. Saturday, nothing in the Valdosta Daily Times by only newspaper. Sunday, no front page coverage. People looking. Well, maybe they'll report something on Sunday in this big old thick paper in this little small metro city of Valdosta, but guess what? It's not there. Monday, today, everybody talking to me. Georgia, they put it over the front page about nothing about that Lula Smart trial to show that she got her second mistrial. And the prosecution for the state of Georgia said they want to know when, asked the judge before the court dismissed, he wanted to know when can he call them back again so they can retry the case. And so the question must be asked, how many more tax dollars will be spent here in this little small southern town to try these people? That's only one case out of 11 more. And while we're at it, originally there was 12. But one of the people that were arrested had lupus. And so I'm questioning because I understand the lupus disease. I'm wondering if the pressure and the stress may not have contributed to Lakeisha's death because of the pressure put on her from this trial. That's just in my own head. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. And so I just want to say to you, you all ask me, why do I do this? It is because I love this country. I was born in Thomas County on South 5th Street. I went to school over here in Brooks County from the 1st grade to 12th grade. And then I went to Atlanta and I served in the United States Armed Forces. And I was told that we were fighting for freedom, justice, and equality in foreign nations, and as well as our right to vote. Now, I'm not going to get into what I feel about the absentee voting process because I've already done that. I just want y'all to know that it's a shame that they are ignoring the 11 Brooks County citizens in the state of Georgia. It is as if though they don't count. It is as if though they don't want nobody to know that possible postal violation was committed by the Postmaster General employees at the Quitman Post Office, or that just maybe it was brought out in the trial about the Brooks County attorney who paid a private investigator to do what he did. And maybe there is other things that were brought up in that trial that the people need to know. And so I am sure that Representative Tyrone Brooks, Edward DuBose, and others will get the transcript and reveal it on a national level so people can see what takes place in courtrooms across Georgia that certain newspapers apparently don't want the general public to know. But if we don't find out what is the base of the arrest or indictment of the Quitman 10+2, the same thing could happen again. And the people who have trust in our form of government, let me repeat, people who have trust in our form of government, their faith will be weakened. But I'm going to say again, I'm going to ask you an intelligent question. And I'm not that smart. I don't have a PhD, but I'm going to ask a question. Why? Why was this not news here in South Georgia? And why wasn't this news in the Atlanta Journal and Constitution? And why wasn't this news? Google it on the internet. But if they were found guilty, or if somebody had informed somebody that things were going against the Lula Smart in this courtroom, most of us said, even during the trial, they would have been here then. But I'm here, it seems like to me and others, that the witnesses for the state really contributed to the defense in this particular case against Lula Smart. Well, just maybe, we'll get justice. Because I believe the God of our ancestors is yet in control. And he is keeping watch over his own, as he said he would. And if we did not have a God on our side, we probably would still be on the back of the bus. Or we probably would still be under conditions that no human being would want to be in. And so we must thank our ancestors who fought for us to be free and for us to have our day in court. But in the end, regardless of what happened, right and justice will win in the end. I'm gonna leave you now, but I want you to know that many people in social circles are using their media, they're using their cameras, and they are creating their own media source because they realize now that the newspapers, the television, and the radio are controlled. And if you can't see that, and if you can't understand that, then you probably is a little Satan yourself. But just remember, St. John 8:32 says, and ye shall know the truth, and that the truth shall set and make you free. You cannot be free until truth comes. Until next time, peace. This is the voice of the common man, both black, white, Christian, Muslim, Jew, Hindu, and others. Truth must be heard during the last days of the reign of the wicked. Peace.